Hi everyone, welcome to the Bruce Sees All Research Channel. I greatly appreciate all of you who took the time to subscribe to the channel, for taking the time to check out the videos. I can't thank you all enough. Project Bluebeam. Well, the spring in the sky, we know Bill, I was going to say Bob, yes, Bill Gates is talking about blocking the rays from the sun. The blue beam that I saw going up to the sky, a lot of people say, why don't you talk about Bluebeam? I didn't necessarily relate it to Bluebeam, and I probably still don't. But for those of you wondering, Project Bluebeam, there's even books out on it. I think Elmer Fudd, I believe it was a guy from Quebec that wrote the book the first time. The Quest for a New World Order and the Rule of the Antichrist, Project Bluebeam. That was the book that was written. So basically, the theory consists of Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy theory that claims that NASA, in cooperation with other powerful forces, is attempting to implement a New Age religion with the Antichrist at its head and start a new world order via a technology of assimilated second coming of Christ. The New Age religion would be the very foundation for the New World government. Again, theoretically, without which religion the fierce dictatorship of the New World Order would be completely impossible. And this is what the book talks about. Again, it's not anything concrete, but it's what a lot of people are talking about. And for some mysterious reason, I saw this really wacky and scary blue beam in the sky. And why am I moving left and right is to show you all that the line was really there. I only saw that once in my life. It's almost done. I just wanted to re-show that to you. I've showed it to you before, and not necessarily having to do with blue beam. And again, it doesn't mean it does, but that blue beam almost looks like it's leaving the surface. And by the way, there's water there, the St. Lawrence. So that blue beam is sticking right out of the water. UFOs in the middle of the afternoon. I talked to my neighbor. My neighbor saw it with me for the first and only time in 10 years and said, "What the heck is that?" I said, "It's a UFO." And he laughed, of course, which, listen, I don't hate the guy for doing so. Everyone laughs at it because we were numbed to this, right? The lies they tell us in the news and everything. Check this out, going by the moon. Want to hear something funny? I'm looking up about the sun and the solar cycle 25 that is here that everyone's saying. Well, NASA, NOAA scientists, NOAA? Are you serious? He's always around, isn't he? Last time we heard of him, he was with an ark or something. He was building an ark, right? Well, NOAA's probably building another ark now because they say NOAA explains what that means. Good thing we got NOAA. Let's see what NOAA's saying. Okay. Solar Cycle 25 has begun. During a media event on Tuesday, experts from NASA and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, discussed their analysis and predictions about the new solar cycle and how the coming upswing in space weather will impact our lives and technology on Earth, as well as astronauts in space. So is it safe to say that maybe they're going to have to redesign all communications on Earth, considering that a geomagnetic storm can actually take out everything that we have as a device, all our communication systems? I think I'm going to have to do a documentary. I have so much I want to say. I want to express myself. You know, under the hazes, the green spots are moving hazes, and with the inversion here, quite simply, we could see structuring on the surface. I'm not even talking about the UFOs that are parked higher up on the right, where you can see right there some of the shadows right beside it. That is literally the UFO that I've been showing you. It's incredible. It's a beautiful thing. For me, it's enough just to know it. I don't have to convince 8 billion people that the moon's inhabited. It's not my job. Definitely not my job, but I know for a fact that I ain't crazy. Mare fecunditatis in the bottom. Look at the crater, supposed crater, it ain't a crater. Look at that, and look at the top, the structuring. Do you see what I mean by structuring? NASA does say that there's a different element on the surface. It's different. The terrain is completely different in both hemispheres of the moon, and there's your proof. I mean, it's a complete structuring of objects, either destroyed, ancient, recent. I don't know, but I mean, lights are going to and from it. I'm still really hooked on this circle, guys. This is right beside Plato Crater. Okay, there's a circle there. Once, keep your eye where that circle is. There, the circle's gone, and now you can see the real circle on the surface, a dark spot. It's round. And why am I seeing that? Well, it's because the Terminator line is there on the left, and that's why everything's so dark. But look what it's showing us. It's showing us the elevation. So it must be the same here on Earth, right? Along the Terminator line, the extraterrestrials can see us really well. So, are we working with aliens? Project Bluebeam talks about a mysterious cult. It's almost scary, even though it is just theory. What do you think of this? They could be buildings. The lines are connected to many rectangles and squares on the surface. It's incredible. You know, these could be storage units also, right? And we're always talking theory here, and every theory is welcome. Never stopping the research on the moon, but I am trying to film more and more often the sun. I will film the sun as often as I can. I will be doing infrared on the sun too, doing some tests. As of now, of course, the UFOs are coming back. Good news. Infrared captures starting to come in a little bit this evening and a couple of evenings ago. I can't show them closer than that. They're just absolutely amazing. Imagine more than one object going by the sun. We can even see it catching on fire as it goes through the corona. These objects, I mean, a coronal mass ejection is it is 50,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Put your turkey in the oven to see if it melts at that temperature. This is an object that went by very close to the sun that broke up in a lot of pieces. Obviously, maybe some ice or something, but it's happening all the time. Now, this is the closest you'll ever see an asteroid. Well, not here, actually. What you just saw. Check it out. Not bad, eh? That's an object flying by the sun. At the same time, you see the line of smoke there over to the right a little bit. Well, you just saw it before an inversion. But I like taking the exposure right down. And that's the closest I have ever seen an asteroid. So I'm up to 6 or 7 asteroids in all so far. And like I said, it gives the rate of about one a year. 1 year I caught 3 of them. It was just incredible. 217, 218 was absolutely absurd. This object in the center, it scares me because a few of you don't see at all, and I say a few of you that I talk to, do not see any interest in that object, when in reality it's not interesting at all, but it's constructed. It's not a natural shape or form that you see. And let's not forget that the objects that we are seeing, like the object you just saw in the center, as you look at these 2 levels of 90-degree angles near Copernicus, what you just saw is a constructed object in the center of a crater, which is not natural, and it is very large. Look at the lines here. I see this as companies. I see the whole bloody screen here constructed, absolutely constructed, where lines are going to straight squares. There's atmosphere that's hiding a lot of the surface, and we can't really see. And don't forget, everything has the same color. There's no difference in colors, and the objects are hard to differentiate. You could see that. If it's not a bridge, it's a massive constructed object or path. This is again, I have many favorites beside Copernicus crater. Copernicus is right there on the top left. That's straight up inside the crater. To give you an idea of how close we are, we're pretty close. And this line in particular, I love, and it fascinates me. And that's quite simply what I do, is I notice things out of place. And not just that, I notice things that NASA never mentions. What do you think of that? Satellite, or is it aerogel? I can see the crater through that. It's on the surface. It's rectangular-ish, elevated on top of that, and behind it is not a shadow at all. There's a war right under our noses. There are UFOs firing on the surface. We could see illuminated UFOs. First, they come out of the darkness of the craters, completely dark, and then they illuminate, and we see projectiles or lights appearing beside it. Look for yourself here. What do you think of that? At the same time as those lights come out, we see the UFO illuminating, and even a smoke that's going all along the UFO, where we see some of these objects, what look like projectiles. I can't say it's anything else when you look at it. Look at the amount of illumination that UFO lights up. So this is an object that's big enough on the surface. Of course, if I can see it, definitely is big. Someone told me they had a small telescope and they could see 1 kilometer on the moon. Well, if I have a 14-inch, I must have a good view, eh? What do you think of that? Apollo 17. That's really, really trippy. I believe you're looking at a company, an industrial company, Mons Argeas. We're going to go see Hyginus Crater, a really nice close-up of it. And I want to show you all on Hyginus Crater while you look at. Pretty cool, eh? Apollo 17. Wanted to show you that. So yeah, we're going to scroll up to Hyginus Crater. We're going to look at the lines, which, by the way, are hundreds of miles long. I don't believe ejecta went hundreds of miles long. It's impossible, right? Does lava in Hawaii climb over mountains? No. It funnels, it creates pools, and that's what it should look like. Lines with circles. Not here. This is Hyginus Crater right in the center, which is supposedly, it supposedly has caved in because of a volcanic interior chamber that would have fallen apart and just fallen in, sunken in. Now see the line there that meets the line there, and that's Hyginus Crater, and everything that fell in the ground supposedly. Look at the browns on the surface. That was last month. Absolutely incredible. We see the craters along the Terminator lines are absolutely exquisite. We can see all the elevation. We can see the supposed ejecta along the rims, any lines going to it. Look at all that, the elevation. That's nice to see the surface like that as compared to a flat gray surface, right? Everyone, thank you so much for the generous contributions. Crawface, bro, thank you very, very much for the generous contributions and for supporting the channel, man. For being a pal, bud, for being around. I greatly appreciate it. They have 180 days to tell us the truth. Maybe they'll talk before that.
Clubs up there, so we find some fun. We party all night long. The aliens on the moon, they must be mighty. They're up there sitting down in that pontoon. They drop every Friday, off in their belly party. But they coming here so soon. Yeah, aliens are up there on the moon. They may be even coming right here soon. Aliens are mighty on the moon. Yes, they are up there. Doesn't matter 'cause disclosure's coming soon. Disclosure's coming soon.